Hi, Travis Souter, Wildlife Officer. I cover most, and that has quite a few different GMUs in it. I've got 128, 133, 85, 861, and a little sliver of 84. So if we start out east, I've got the southern portion of 128 and then the northern portion of 133. Both of them are really good for pronghorn. They do have some deer down in the river bottom. Most of that's inaccessible, it's all private land, and then it does also have some elk, but again, they're pretty scattered and mostly private land. About the only public land out there is in GMU 128, the Cacharis Canyon BLM, and then there's a little bit off of Huerfano County Road 120 as well. You can get some permission if you're willing to knock on doors, but a lot of it is leased out to private outfitters, things like that. There's also a late cow elk season out there. It's a very tough hunt and the animals are just tough to find, and getting permission on them is pretty difficult. Switching over to the west side of the interstate, I cover the northern portion of 85. The nice thing about 85, there's really good elk and deer herds and actually some pretty good pronghorn in there as well. There's a decent amount of public land that can be accessed as well. Blackhawk and Schultz Canyon are both really good for deer, elk, turkey, bears, mountain lions, things like that. It's mostly pinyon juniper. And every now and then on Blackhawk you can actually find some pronghorn. As far as public land for pronghorn in 85, the Guillermo, or some people will pronounce it Guillermo State Trust Land, is probably your best bet. And you can actually find some deer and elk and some small game out there as well. On the western part of 85, we have some national forest access, part of the San Isabel National Forest. And there's really good elk in there. The problem is it's very steep country, a lot of beetle kills, so you'll see a lot of blowdown, timber, and things like that that you'll have to navigate. And not a whole lot of road access. So there's the Cordova Pass Road that'll take you into basically the west side of the Spanish Peaks, or you can take what they call the Bear Lake or Blue Lake Road, which is 421, I believe, Forest Service Road 421. And from there, it's all foot or horseback access, but that keeps those animals in there pretty much year round. You can, especially early season archery, you can do a lot of glassing up high, catch them coming out of those, the up high above timberline down into the timber. It's also a nice place to find some really nice deer. And then as the seasons go on, as we get into those rifle seasons, they'll definitely be down in the trees. And then if we get snow, it'll push them down, which is typically all private. Something to be aware of is we did have a really big fire there. The Spring Creek fire burned over 108,000 acres. A lot of that was private, but some of that is the public land there in that national forest. So make sure you check with the national forest to see what current restrictions are. There is a closure area right now, which doesn't allow horse, foot, ATV, any access at all. So just be aware of where those boundaries are so that you don't get in there and get lost or hurt or anything like that. I do cover the southern portion of 861, which is part of the Sangre de Cristos. Again, very little access vehicle-wise. Huerfano County Road 580 will take you back in there, and that's about it. Everything from there is all foot or horseback. Some really good country, some really great habitat, and again, just like always, those animals will start high in archery and muzzleloader, and then as the snow comes, it'll push them down as temperatures cool. The Slide and Green Mountain are very popular places, but again, you're going to have to be willing to put some effort in because you have to access it either through the Huerfano State Wildlife Area on the north side, you can access it on the east side from the Manzanares Creek State Trust Land, or on the west side from that National Forest Road.